I remember the night it all began like a single clear photo. I was scrolling when a notification popped up. Lily, a stunning blonde with thousands of followers, had followed me. Her profile looked real. Years of pictures, friends tagged, hundreds of likes and comments on every post. Before I could decide whether to follow back, a message slid into my inbox. She thought I was cute. We talked easy, like people do online, small jokes and quick compliments. She gave me her number without a second thought and asked to meet the next night at a bar on the edge of town. I told myself to be calm. This was normal, right? Still, my stomach twisted with a mix of excitement and nerves. I checked her photos again that evening, ran my thumb over pictures of her laughing with friends, and felt the strange comfort of seeing a life spread across a screen. She texted me the address, a place I'd driven past a dozen times. We agreed on 9. I told myself I'd play it safe, meet in the parking lot first, and if anything felt off, I'd walk away. That promise sat in my head like a thin shield, small and uncertain, but it was all I had when I pulled into the lot and watched the bar's neon flicker through the cold air. Sitting behind the wheel, I watched the door and the dim shadow of the street. My phone buzzed. Her message said her car had broken down and asked if I could give her a ride. The directions were strange. Not the bar, but a dark, rural road that cut through the woods behind town. It felt like a detail that didn't belong, but she sounded frustrated and alone, and my voice said yes before my brain caught up. The drive was almost empty. Trees leaned close to the road like people listening. My phone dropped to no signal as I followed the blue dot until the map vanished, and the only light was my headlights on the black asphalt. There, pulled over with its hood up, was a black Mustang. The windows were pitch dark, like someone had painted them. No one answered when I knocked on the glass. The engine hissed softly under open metal, but there was no movement inside. The air smelled like wet leaves and cold oil. I walked the patrol of the car once, checking doors, listening. My chest tightened as the quiet stretched. I tried calling her, but the call wouldn't go through. The darkness felt thick, like someone had turned down the world. I turned to leave, my feet already carrying me to the safety of my car, when the passenger window, which had been shut tight, moved. It cracked open slow, a thin line of glass, and a hand slipped through. The hand that appeared was not delicate or nervous. It curled its finger, beckoning me like an old, patient trap. I couldn't see the face at first, only the shape of the fingers, the callus on a thumb, the smell of damp leather. The motion was casual but deliberate, a silent command to step closer. My first thought was that Lily was inside, and this was a weird joke. My second thought was the wrong one. There was no sign of her, no handbag, no jacket on the seat, no breath fogging the glass. The hand tapped the rim, and the metal caught the light like a blade. My legs moved before my mind let the fear settle. I ran. I didn't look back until I was inside my car. Door slammed, heart battering my ribs. When I turned to drive away, headlights flashed briefly behind me, then went out. A car followed, but with no lights, just the black shape tailing my taillights like a shadow that knew my moves. I killed my lights and drove by memory, making sharp turns, following side streets I hadn't thought about in years. My hands shook so badly I could barely hold the wheel straight. Each time I thought I'd lost it, a silhouette slid into view behind another hedgerow, or a fork in the road. When I finally jolted into my driveway, breathing like I'd been underwater, the silence in my house felt both a relief and a new kind of danger. By morning, the Instagram account was gone. I checked everything, searches, cached pages, friends' feeds, and the profile had vanished like someone had wiped a chalkboard clean. I called the bar, the only person I'd told, and learned a name that didn't match the photos. Someone had been in the hospital months ago, a wanderer with no social pages. And yet other people began to call and say the same thing had happened to them. Messages from Lily, directions to the road, a car waiting in the dark. Later, a hacker friend told me the account had been hijacked and used to lure people. That man in the Mustang, the hand that curled and beckoned, was part of something colder than a prank. Whoever planned it used real photos to build trust, then swapped truth for a trap. I kept replaying the image of that hand, the slow crack of glass, and the empty seat. The nights after were sleepless, each car's suggestion of motion making me check locks, clutch the phone, and remember how close I'd come. The story ended without a neat justice. No arrests the first month, no clear motive. But it changed me. I stopped scrolling without looking twice at who was behind a screen. I learned to treat kindness online like a stranger's car on a dark road. Approach with light, keep distance, and never, ever go alone.